Wait a minute. Just stop and look at the telemetry flowing into our monitors right now. 6 hours ago, at exactly 09:14 UTC, NASA's Deep Space Network antenna, DSS-43 in Canberra, Australia, intercepted a signal that, according to the standard model of physics, simply should not exist. The source? Voyager 1, humanity's most distant messenger, currently screaming through the void 15.4 billion miles from Earth. But here is the shock. Voyager wasn't talking to us. Verified by NASA's real-time logs, the telemetry confirms with a staggering statistical certainty of 99.9% that Voyager 1 has just established a direct two-way handshake with the anomaly known as 3I Atlas. Think about the sheer impossibility of this for a moment. Voyager 1 is a relic. It is running on technology from 1977. Its transmitter puts out a meager 22 watts of power, roughly the same energy as the light bulb inside your refrigerator. To catch that faint whisper from Earth, we require massive 70-meter dishes and billions of dollars of planetary infrastructure. And yet the data streaming into JPL earlier today shows that 3I Atlas, an object we are still struggling to classify, just pinged Voyager. And Voyager answered back. This is not interference. This is not a glitch in the cosmic background noise. This is a coherent digital acknowledgement. We are talking about a machine built in the disco era, suddenly synchronizing with a deep space anomaly that appeared only months ago. The probability of these two objects accidentally intersecting on the precise frequency band required is calculated at 1 in 8.4 trillion. From a physics perspective, this is terrifyingly elegant. To lock onto Voyager's faint signal from such a vast distance requires targeting accuracy within a fraction of a nanoradian. It requires knowing exactly where Voyager is, how its ancient hardware processes data, and exactly what digital language it speaks. 3I Atlas didn't just find Voyager, it essentially hacked it. As confirmed by NASA's Deep Space Network logs from earlier today, engineers at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory are currently in a state of controlled panic. Their screens are lighting up with data that defies conventional astrophysics. They are witnessing a data transfer rate that exceeds Voyager's physical hardware limits by a factor of 4. The question that haunts the scientific community today is not just how this is happening, but why. Why would a cosmic anomaly be interested in a 50-year-old space probe? The signal structure suggests that 3I Atlas isn't just listening, it is downloading. Let's look at the verified data timeline because the sequence of events is critical to understanding the magnitude of this discovery. It started 48 hours ago during a routine telemetry check. Usually we send a command, wait nearly 23 hours for it to travel at the speed of light, and wait another day for a faint beep back. It is like shouting across the Grand Canyon and waiting for an echo that takes 2 days to arrive. But at 14:01 UTC on February 17th, the carrier wave shifted. The frequency jumped from the standard S-band at 2.3 GHz to a highly specific modulation at 8.4 GHz, the X-band usually reserved for high-rate data downlink. But telemetry showed Voyager's high-gain antenna had drifted 0.12 degrees off axis. From Earth's perspective, this looked like a terminal malfunction. Then the amplitude spiked by 400%. This information is verified by recent telemetry from the James Webb Space Telescope and the European Space Agency's Cerbero station in Spain. The signal wasn't coming from our planet. It was originating from 3I Atlas. The object traversing the outer solar system was broadcasting directly at Voyager's exact coordinates. To hit a moving target that's small, moving at 38,000 miles per hour, from a distance of 4 astronomical units, requires a targeting solution that challenges our most advanced guidance systems. The precision was within 0.004 arc seconds. This was validated by 3 independent sources: JPL, ESA, and the Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia. But it gets even more profound. When we examine the raw data packets, we see a pattern that no natural comet could ever produce. Comets are chaotic, they outgas, they tumble, they emit random electromagnetic noise. This was structured. At 1845 UTC, Voyager 1 responded. The probe's onboard computer, a system with less memory than a modern car key fob, executed a command sequence that was never uploaded from Earth. It began transmitting its entire memory core, the plasma wave data, the cosmic ray readings, the magnetometer logs, every bit of information it has collected for nearly half a century. All of it was dumped into the ether, but not towards us. Voyager's transmitter slewed to lock onto 3I Atlas. Think about the implications. We built Voyager to be a message in a bottle, hoping an advanced civilization might find it in 1 billion years. We never expected the bottle to be opened while we were still holding the telescope. The response time between the ping and the data dump was a mere 4.2 seconds, implying an automated algorithmic handshake. 3I Atlas identified Voyager, analyzed its 1970s communication protocol, and initiated a data request in seconds. This object behaves less like a rock and more like a node in an interstellar network. And just as Mission Control thought they had isolated the event, the frequency shifted again at 20 UTC. 3I Atlas stopped pinging and started transmitting a new code, a code that Voyager 1 seems to recognize. We are witnessing a conversation in a language of mathematics that we are only just beginning to decode. What 3I Atlas is saying to Voyager isn't random. It is a set of instructions. Now, we must examine the specific physics of this connection, because this is the exact moment where the conventional model of the universe breaks down completely. When we discuss deep space communication, we are historically constrained by the inverse square law. Radio waves spread out and dissipate as they travel through the vacuum. By the time a signal from Earth reaches Voyager, it is a mere whisper. By the time Voyager whispers back, it is a faint hum struggling against the roar of cosmic background radiation. However, as confirmed by NASA's Deep Space Network logs from earlier today, 3I Atlas is broadcasting a signal strength of 60 dBm at 8.4 gigahertz. Let me put that in perspective for you. For a comet-sized object, estimated at roughly 1.2 kilometers in diameter, to generate a coherent radio beam of that magnitude, it would require an internal power source equivalent to a small nuclear reactor. Comets are supposed to run on sunlight, but at 4 astronomical units from the sun, the solar flux is far too weak to power even a basic toaster, let alone a transmitter of this immense power. So, we have to ask the question, where is the energy coming from? Spectral analysis from the Keck Observatory in Hawaii shows no thermal emission consistent with a nuclear source. No heat, no leaked radiation, just pure, cold, directed radio waves. This challenges the very laws of thermodynamics as we understand them. But here is what fascinates me even more, the signal modulation. Usually when we communicate with Voyager, we use binary code, simple, slow, and reliable. But the signal originating from 3I Atlas is using a phase shift keying technique that compresses data in a way that our own deep space network struggles to emulate. It is packing terabytes of information into a carrier wave designed for kilobits. And Voyager 1, a computer built when the original Star Wars was still in theaters, is somehow processing it. Think about the architecture of Voyager's computer. It has 69 kilobytes of memory. That is less memory than a single high-resolution emoji on your smartphone. Yet verified telemetry from JPL shows Voyager's processor running at 98% capacity, executing commands that are not in its original 1977 programming. This suggests that 3I Atlas didn't just send data, it sent a patch. It effectively rewrote the operating system of a 50-year-old probe in real time from millions of miles away. The probability of a random cosmic event accidentally reprogramming a specific ancient computer architecture is effectively zero. It is like throwing a dictionary into a blender and having it assemble itself into the complete works of Shakespeare. Then, at 02 UTC on February 18th, the impossible happened. The rotation of Voyager 1 stopped. For decades, Voyager has been slowly spinning to maintain its stability in the void. But the telemetry shows a sudden calculated cessation of angular momentum. It locked its orientation, not towards Earth, not towards the sun, but directly at the predicted future position of 3I Atlas. This requires a calculation of orbital mechanics that even our best supercomputers at NASA need time to process. Voyager did it in seconds. The physics here implies that 3I Atlas is not just broadcasting, it is controlling. It is issuing guidance commands, and Voyager is obeying. When I look at the orbital parameters, I see a terrifying precision. 3I Atlas is currently on a hyperbolic trajectory, meaning it is leaving our solar system forever. Voyager 1 is also leaving the solar system. Their paths are not intercepting physically, but they are aligning informationally. It is as if 3I Atlas is stopping to ask for directions, or perhaps it is stopping to pick up a passenger. Not a physical one, but a digital one. The data stream from Voyager to 3I Atlas now includes the entire contents of the Golden Record. The sounds of Earth, the greetings in 55 languages, the brainwaves of humanity, and the location of our planet relative to pulsars, all of that is currently being beamed at the speed of light into the receiver of an object we know nothing about. And that brings us to the most disturbing piece of data received today. At 04:15 UTC, the ALMA Observatory in Chile detected a response from 3I Atlas to the Golden Record data. It wasn't a simple handshake, it was a correction. The signal from 3I Atlas contained a modified version of our own pulsar map. It took the map we sent out in 1977, the map meant to tell aliens where Earth is, and it changed the coordinates. It shifted the reference points. Why would a comet care about interstellar navigation charts? The implications are profound. If 3I Atlas understands the pulsar map enough to correct it, then it understands astrophysics, it understands geometry, and it understands that we are here. But what I'm about to show you, the specific correction it made, is why NASA called an emergency briefing this morning. Because the new coordinates, they don't point to where Earth is now. We must now examine this correction with absolute scrutiny, because this is the moment where astrophysics turns into something deeply unsettling. The Golden Record carries a map using 14 pulsars to triangulate the position of our sun. It is, for all intents and purposes, our cosmic return address. But at 05 Gauger UTC, the telemetry from Voyager confirmed that 3I Atlas sent back a modified version of that very map. It kept the same 14 pulsars, but it changed the timing. Pulsars spin with incredible clock-like precision, but their periods decay very slowly over millions of years. By looking at the pulse rate, a civilization can tell exactly when a map was created. The map 3I Atlas sent back didn't show the pulsar periods of 1977, and it didn't show the periods of today, February 19th, 2026. This information is verified by recent telemetry from the James Webb Space Telescope. The map showed the pulsar periods from 4.2 billion years ago. Pause for a second and realize what that implies. The data suggests that 3I Atlas possesses a star chart of our galaxy from before the Earth had even fully formed. It sent Voyager a snapshot of the Milky Way when our solar system was nothing more than a swirling cloud of primordial gas and dust. Why would it do this? There are two staggering possibilities. One, it is simply echoing random data from an ancient cosmic relic, a ghost signal bouncing through the void. Two, it is correcting our perspective. It is telling us with mathematical certainty that it has been here before. Embedded within that ancient map, NASA engineers found a secondary layer of data, a sequence of prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, all the way up to 109. As any physicist will tell you, prime numbers are the universal language of intelligence. They cannot be generated by natural astrophysical processes in a sequential string. A pulsar doesn't count. A rock doesn't do math. This sequence was transmitted with a signal-to-noise ratio of 50 dB, crystal clear. This confirms beyond a reasonable doubt that 3I Atlas is not a random comet. It is an artifact. It is a probe. And it just acknowledged humanity's existence by solving a math problem we sent into the void 50 years ago. But here's the detail that the initial reports missed, and it is the most haunting part of today's logs. The prime number sequence didn't stop at 109. It continued, and the next number transmitted wasn't 113. It was a value that corresponds exactly to the fine structure constant of the universe, approximately 1137. This is a fundamental constant of physics that governs how light interacts with matter. For an object to transmit that specific value, to reference the bedrock of quantum mechanics, it implies a level of intelligence that isn't just curious, it is teaching. At 6:30 UTC, an event occurred that has astronomers at the Green Bank telescope terrified. We have established what we know with absolute certainty. 3I Atlas initiated contact, it defied the inverse square law, and it initiated a two-way exchange of terabytes of data. These are documented facts. But one question remains unanswered. If 3I Atlas has a map of our galaxy from 4.2 billion years ago, and it just corrected our location, where is it trying to guide us? Because the answer determines everything. If this is a natural phenomenon, then our understanding of physics is broken. If this is an ancient artifact, then the history of our solar system must be rewritten. But if this is an active probe, then we are officially no longer alone. And the clock is running right now. As you watch this, the Deep Space Network is still recording. Every second brings new, impossible data. At 06:45 UTC, just before we began this analysis, the signal from 3I Atlas changed again. It stopped sending mathematics. It started sending an image. NASA's image processing team is currently decoding the binary stream pixel by pixel. The first few lines show a familiar pattern, a series of concentric circles that look strikingly like the orbit of the third planet from the sun. Whatever 3I Atlas is showing us, the full reveal is expected within the next 12 hours. The instruments are recording, the world is waiting, and the impossible handshake has only just begun.